All right, welcome back to Helos and Homies. I'm here with a special guest today, from my childhood especially. The man sitting next to me is I Am Solo, a coveted producer, singer, songwriter, and also former part of Justice Crew. How are you today, brother?
Yeah, it's good, man. My day's good. Thanks. That's a cool intro.
Yeah,
That's a good way to start, man.
Yeah.
Use that one.
Thanks for coming on.
I was calm, bro.
So your first thing I wrote down is you're a jack of all trades when it comes to music.
Yeah.
So you producer,
Yeah.
singer, songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
What's in priority? Go from 1 to 3?
Right now,
Yeah.
I'd probably say the producer, or I mean if you want to get technical, the mix mastering,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. That's like high demand at the moment. But I feel like, yeah, probably the producer role at the moment.
Yeah.
And then I'll go songwriter and then singer last. Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So we may as well start with producing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to producing, most notably Onefour.
Yeah.
Also this is from Genius.
Yeah.
But I did proper research.
Yeah, man. I like that. I like it.
B-Wise, Capulet,
Yeah.
Becca Hatch, Section 60, shout out Fez as well.
Yeah, Fez.
And yeah, there's a few other ones there.
Yep.
But in terms of like numbers, the Onefour
Yeah.
tracks are massive that you've
Yeah.
been a part of.
Yeah.
What was it like producing
For
for them?
It's I mean they're like my little cousins. They just remind me of family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
'Cause
kind of
we-
look like JM's.
Yeah.
He does in the face.
Yeah, I'm like a long lost relative. No.
Yeah.
No. I think like it was, you know, it was kind of easy because like I said, they do remind me of like my younger cousins.
Yeah.
You know, especially like on my father's side. But I guess so. Also, as just they were young kids, just really just trying to get into music. So, but it was a lot of fun. It was really different for me at the time, because I had only ever done like electronic and like a little bit of R&B.
Yeah.
You know, before them. So drill was just something. Very different.
Something else.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
beginning was most probably that's the craziest one I think beat-wise.
Yeah.
Like just from a pure standpoint from a fan.
Yeah.
Like is it the choir?
Yeah,
from the church. What's it called? The organ.
Yeah. I think it's an organ. Yeah.
How do you go about going from, because you're mostly like R&B and dance, hey?
Yeah.
How do you go from doing that into producing something so heavy like that?
So within the beginning, because Gotcha came with the original idea. So when I'm always like, okay, what can I do different? What can I do to make it sound like nothing you've heard before? Yeah. So I mean, like things with like the distorted sounds, phase sounds, glitches, all that stuff that really come from my electronic like background. Yeah. So it was really just matching their energy, like with their rapping. That's how I kind of brought the real distorted phases and shit like that, just to make it sound, just to match them.
Yeah.
So it sound more aggressive, you know what I mean? So, but just weird at the same time. Yeah. So.
With the mixing and mastering, so for people that aren't aware of like producer, you're basically like the last touch on the beat, are you not?
Yeah.
So when it comes to you, because you were a big part of Against All Odds.
Yeah.
What's the actual mix and mastering process on when you've got the song?
Yeah.
And it's a bit more of a raw file. What do you go in and like what's your mindset going into it?
So I do a lot of the levels. Like I just make sure the levels of everything is sounding to like cohesive. Yeah. And like, you know, you want the song to sound the same on, you know, your AirPods or your, you know, studio speakers to your car speakers to the radio. You just want it all to sound like very similar. So my job was definitely just to make sure that's cohesive.
All right, we had some technical errors. I've taken my hat off. A few things have happened.
Stressing.
Every podcast I do this, we've had technical errors. So the question I asked you before all that happened was you're a mix and master. So for people that don't know, that's like the finishing touch on the beats.
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that when on like an EP, like Against All Odds?
You just got to make like I actually do have a process. Whatever is the first song to come off the EP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to reference everything like that.
Is that Selly's intro?
Yeah. No. Released.
Oh, right.
So I think it was Home and Away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Home and Away would have been the one that was released. So I have to reference that. That's the reference, and then I have to make sure everything's on par with that track.
Yeah.
And sounds like that track, like sonically. So make sure the kick, the bass, all the vocals are sounding somewhat in the same range as that song. Yeah.
Yeah, what a crazy EP that was, eh?
Yeah, you liked it?
Oh, I think the intros are the best.
Yeah.
And like Let's Ride is funky. That's Funky Town sample, hey?
It's Blue.
The harmonica in it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, if it's that.
I thought it was Funky Town when I first heard it.
Nah, it's Blue All Rise.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wait, Let's Ride?
Is it Let's Ride? And then Let's Ride. Yeah, it must be that then. Yeah. And then Leaving, Heartless. Yeah. I thought that was like the one for I've been waiting for. Yeah. When it came, because I was like, there's got to be something else to him.
Yeah.
And I thought Lex's intro is most probably the best interlude I've heard. Yeah. In a long time. Like that Pikachu bar is like one of the best bars in the country.
Yeah.
I vouch for Lex's like bar for bar. Him and Alex Jones, I vouch for the best.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought it was everything you could want from a debut. Bro. Yeah, everyone involved too, like the production, and how like the songs just flowed into each other. I think that's like a key part of making a project.
Yeah, I definitely think that's it. That's the thing too, like especially with like me and Will Star, like we don't really go into EPs or albums being like, oh yeah, let's just put a whole bunch of songs together. Yeah, it really does have to be a movie. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you interview Will Star, he'll tell you himself. But for me, like, I have to. It has to be an experience. You know what I mean? I don't like to just. It's easy to just put a whole bunch of songs together. Yeah. It's a bit different where you really try to make the listener have an experience. Yeah. Yeah. That's the difference.
And then we go from the producing you've done very well in.
Thanks, man. Thank you, mate.
No,
thanks, mate.
No worries. And also singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of that, who is Solo? How did all this journey start? You're from New Zealand originally?
Originally from New Zealand, yeah. Who is Solo? I'm just a creative, man. I like to be creative. I like to find different outlets of being creative. Yeah. I'm originally from New Zealand. My parents, my mum's Tanzanian, East African. My dad's Tongan. My parents are both artists. They were both into art.
Love that.
Yeah, like my dad's random. This is so random, but my dad's very known in like the art world, which is random.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so random. If you look him up, there's a whole
like paint, like canvas.
It's like traditional Tongan art. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of almost revolutionary, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know how to. I can explain it, but it's. You look it up and you'll find it. Yeah, he's like known. He's like known, especially in Pacific art. Yeah, he's very known. I started dancing, started breaking when I was like maybe 10.
Over in New Zealand?
In New Zealand, in New Zealand. So I found hip hop. I found like the culture of hip hop when I was like 10. Yeah. So I'd seen like. It was an event and it was like breaking and graffiti and rapping, and I was like, what is this? Like,
is that when Scribe was out doing his thing?
Man, this was before Scribe.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, I think I would have been 9, actually, 8. Yeah. Yeah, it was like, I was young. I was like a kid, but I had just seen it. And my best mate in primary school at the time, his father had been breaking since the 80s.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so I just seen this culture like in front of me, and I was just like, what is that?
Yeah.
How do you spin on your head? Like,
Yeah.
how, you're trying to process like a guy going like this. You're like,
Yeah.
what's got? Am I tripping or
Yeah,
like what's
yeah.
going on? And I just fell in love with it. So I got into that.
Chris Brown make me want to break dance back in the day.
Yeah.
Off his exclusive album.
Yeah. Chris Brown's legit, man. I
Yeah.
rate Chris. I remember we toured with Chris Brown. I seen him actually break, and I'm like, oh, you're not just a
Yeah.
you can actually
Do it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. And then I think like
What age did you move over here?
I would have been like 18.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
18. I was. It was not long after school. I kind of like dropped out of school, and I was like going to like a sports institute, and then I was just like, fuck, I just don't want to do any of this.
Yeah.
I just want to dance, and so I just came over to Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then from 18, at what age does Justice Crew start?
Like 20.
20.
Yeah, 2 years after that. Yeah.
So 2009?
Yeah, it was like 2009-ish. Yeah.
And you win Australia's Got Talent.
Yeah.
That's when TV dominated. So that would have been a big bone, bro. Because when
you guys are giving up my age right now. But yeah, I was like, I'm pretty much like Australia's, like, I'm a part of Australia's like primary school. Like,
yeah, because like back then, like, you'd say 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. like dominated kids' attention on TV, and especially that stuff because there was young kids on there as well.
Yeah.
And that was before like social media came along because I couldn't tell you who's winning it now.
Yeah.
But like winning that, and then you guys go into your own entity after that. Hey.
Yeah.
And then the big songs start coming out. What was the first one? I can't remember off the top of my dome.
And Then We Dance.
That's it.
Yeah,
that was on my iPod Nano.
Yeah.
On my iPod Nano, bro. I used to have that shit with Lil Wayne songs and Eminem's recovery album. No joke. Yeah, Not Afraid by Eminem. Kevin Rudolph and Lil Wayne. That We Made It song.
That's when like Lil Wayne was doing his like skater
Yeah.
transition thing. Holy cunt, that's a throwback, bro.
Yeah, bro. That was on my iPod Nano. My sister used to show me in the
Even
Barina.
says Nano, bro. Holy cunt, that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy
Shit.
times.
That was crazy times. Yeah.
And then, so, like, what was it like? Because that doesn't happen now. Fuck.
I'm just thinking about the video clip.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, everyone's on Nanos,
Yeah.
bro. Holy shit.
And
forgot
I think
about
iPod Touch was like new at the time.
Yeah, it was on its own, right? It was like yeah.
And then iPhone 3 came. And I had all of your shit on there. And then iTunes came and I still had yours. And so you blow up.
Yeah.
What's it like going on? Because it's pre-filmed, obviously.
Yeah.
So what's it like going from like pre-filming it, knowing what's happening, and then all of a sudden like you're on the spotlight on the Monday, like you're bursting in the spotlight. What was that like?
I feel, bro, it was like, okay, I always say it too. I've never really been like a cool guy or popular guy in school, like or any of my schooling years. I was really like an outsider, but having that popularity overnight was like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah,
you know what I
this is
mean?
something.
Yeah. And
Imposter syndrome?
it did. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely felt like it. But yeah, it was kind of like awkward at the same time. But I'm not gonna lie, there were perks to it. Like when people know you from TV, people just gonna you get some free shit, you get some cool shit. You know? But yeah, it was strange, man. It was definitely a strange kind of transition. But it's wild. I think the good thing though was the boys in the group.
Yeah.
That kept when you're with a group of guys, like that's what kind of keeps you level headed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. When you're with your
Were
boys.
you all around the same age?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
good.
roughly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want someone a bit younger just being like
Yeah.
blowing up
Yeah.
and then going straight to their head.
Yeah.
And what followed was a collaboration with arguably the biggest rapper at the time, or one of, was Flow Rider. He was massive, bro. He was massive.
It was literally like before he'd done. We got him just at that point where he did the song with
Low.
Good Feeling, and he did that.
Yeah.
He started to do the dance run.
Yeah.
All those, he was just going hit.
Yeah.
Maybe he had that Apple Bottom. What's that song?
Apple Bottom Jeans
I think
was out.
Low was out. Yeah.
That was out when I was like 7 or 8. That was big when I was like year 3, and you guys were like year 5 or 6. Crazy.
Oh my god, bro!
I'd be tripping if year 5 mate would tell me right now you're interviewing Justice Crew member. I'd be so cool to all the girls.
That's wild. Yeah.
What was it like collaborating with like Flow Rider at that time?
It was weird. It really is kind of a blur because
did you go over there?
Yeah, we went over there and recorded it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. We didn't record the song with him, but we did the video with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bloke just pulled up in a Bugatti with like a 30 people entourage.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, and we're just like, we're just these guys from Australia.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. But he was cool. He was calm. It was quick. It was full operation. Like just go in, record, do our parts. He comes in, boom, 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 and he's
out.
gone.
Yeah.
30 people too. I was like, is that necessary? Like,
yeah,
you need to come with, but that's how they do it. But yeah, man, we were going over there a lot.
Who else did you collaborate with over there? So there was a few more.
Yeah, we had done. I mean, we did a song. Jay Sean wrote for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay Sean wrote like a couple of our songs.
What a guy.
Yeah, Jay Sean, man, legend. Pitbull, we toured with Pitbull all around America and Canada. Yeah, for like 3 months on a tour bus. Yeah, Pitbull and Kesha actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so like when Pitbull is like going to every, because Pitbull has a lot of songs with a lot of people. So this is like 20.
He's massive in the Spanish community.
Huge.
Yeah.
He's like OG. He's like an OG. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Fucking idiot.
But like, he has a lot of songs with people. So like, every city that we were going to, like
someone was hopping.
Someone was there.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez, will.i.am, fucking Lil Jon.
Yeah.
Fucking. I'm swearing. Sorry if I'm swearing.
No. Okay, we say everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember. Enrique Iglesias.
He was massive back then as well. Like 2010, he had like 2 or 3 number ones. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Jay Sean as well.
Jay Sean.
He's still kicking it, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I see him on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still does.
Yeah.
What was it like being like a kid from New Zealand, moved to Australia?
Yeah.
And then within 2 or 3 years, you're in America with Pitbull and stuff. What was that like?
Did
you ever catch yourself being like, "Holy shit! Like this is."
Yeah. Sometimes I do. Yeah. Not often though. I'm really just the guy who's just like, I just keep. Maybe it's because I have had like disappointments in my life, so I don't try to expect too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a part of who I am, but. Yeah, I mean, you do appreciate them. Yeah, but I feel like I've always just been like, oh yeah, man, like, yeah. It's probably like maybe a few years. Like even now, like I'm thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit, like we actually like met all those people.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's crazy. And then you supported one of Australia's sweethearts, Jessica Mauboy, or she was supporting as well with the Chris Brown tour.
Yeah.
And that was over here, wasn't it?
That was here, yeah.
That was like one of the biggest tours at the time.
Yeah, because it was like Chris Brown's like comeback tour from the Rihanna thing.
Yeah.
That Rihanna thing had happened.
What was the music out at the time? It had something.
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, 3X. Yeah.
That's a good tune.
Yeah. Yeah, he had like he was doing his dancing. It was like when everyone was on the EDM. Yeah, there was a few bangers. Yeah, he had a few bangers.
Did you ever come across LMFAO?
Yep.
What were they like?
They're funny.
They're funny?
They're funny.
Yeah, because they just blew up at the same time. And I was like, I wonder what they're up to.
Yeah.
Because people reckon they were, people reckon they were like weird as.
Well, our interactions with them were alright. We always caught them at parties, like when there's like, like you have alcohol parties and stuff like that. And I remember one was like a house, and there was a house party in LAMF. Them were there. Yeah. It was wild. Yeah,
fucking hell.
They did a full show and everything, but yeah, we knew a couple of their dancers because they had dancers in their show.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you two, you guys were originally like a dance crew, hey?
Yeah.
And then the music came into it.
Music came after. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
How'd you start? It's hard to articulate this question, but like going
Yeah.
from dance, did most of you make music before you joined that dance crew?
Nah.
So
Never.
you fucking learn on the go.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
People don't realize this.
Shout out Justice Crew.
Yeah. People don't realize like we had nothing.
So a label came to you and said,
Yeah. So
let's make music.
yeah. So how it works is before you enter the show,
Yeah.
you sign a contract saying Sony Music will
Yeah.
take care of you after if you win.
Yeah.
Or like they have something to do with the show or something. Anyway, so we're like, okay, cool. Like we sign it. We're just, kids
Yeah.
from all around Sydney just trying to find an opportunity. We sign it. Then we win it. So usually
Who came second?
the dad. Remember there was the dad. I forgot his name. It was a father-son duo first, and then the dad went.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you probably.
Yeah, I can't remember, bro. I just remember
you have to go back.
I just remember from this generation, like Reese Maston came after you. Is that his name?
Yeah, Reese. Yeah.
Yeah,
Reese
with the
Mason,
hair. And then Genosians were like
Janoskians.
the B-Tech
Yeah.
Justice Crew. They were just like YouTube jokesters, but they
Yeah.
had your look.
Yeah, well, that's the homie. One of the boys he's one of the homies, man, James. But yeah. Well, how it works is like Sony after the show you win, but usually a singer wins on those shows.
Yeah.
So we were like not singers. We were like
Yeah.
just this young kids who just won the show. So they didn't know what to do with us. So we actually didn't have any management. Like they're supposed to come straight away after the show and be like,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to take care of you and this is what's going to happen. But they didn't know what to do with us. So we approached one of the managers and we're like, yo, what do we do?
Yeah.
Oh no, we approached the show and the show goes, okay, you guys should talk to a Sony manager or management. Yeah. Anyway, we talked to one of the managers and we're sitting there just like, yeah, we don't know what to do. Because the label don't know what to do with us because we're not singers.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're sitting there and we're like at a cafe. It was like there was only half of the group was there, and we're sitting there like just chilling. And he's like, "Man, that manager was like, I don't know what I would do with you, but I can give you a list of other managers you can go to."
Yeah.
So we're like, "Okay, cool. Like, give us a list." And he starts giving us a list, but in the middle of that conversation, he goes, "You know what? You guys should make a song." And then we were like, why? And then he was like, he pointed up to the screen that was on at the cafe, and it's funny because it was Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you look at Chris Brown was dancing, right? He's doing his dance moves. We were looking, and he's like, the manager goes, you can dance to your own music. And in my head, I was like, bring, like this. A light bulb like kind of just shines, it lights up. And I'm like, yo, we should do that. Like, because the other thing too is like we needed a way to stay in the media. Yeah. Because back then, obviously, it's TV.
Like
It
has to be next day.
It has to be next day. Yeah. And then if you release a single, because all the TV, the label, radio, they were all tied in with each other. They're all in bed with each other. So if you release a single from Sony, which was a powerhouse back then.
It's almost a monopoly, eh?
Yeah, it's monopoly, because the CEO at that time had a monopoly on everything.
Yeah.
So if you release a single and then you're like a priority on the label, you'll get, okay, we're going to put you to Sunrise.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to
speak to Koshi.
It's like,
Prick.
Koshi was my mate, speaking of the old mate Koshi.
Such a prick.
Bro, so you'll just do the run of like, okay, boom, Sunrise, boom, Channel 9, boom, Nova, boom,
Kyle Sandler and Jackie,
Jack, all the Edge, boom, boom, boom. So you just do a run. Yeah. And then obviously if there was TV moments like NRL,
Did you do the grand final or anything? Or
no, we did State of Origin.
Yeah.
When New South Wales finally beat, Jared Hayne. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. I hear Jared Hayne was full crying. Yeah. It was like 2014, I think 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Blues was they hadn't been winning for ages, and then that year they won. Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been sick performing at State of Origin.
Yeah, bro, it's like performing to nobody, like because it's 80,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was
Do you
pretty
like
big.
when you're up there and you're performing in such like in front of massive fucking crowds? Do you like blank out? There's that many people that have their eyes on you, or are you fully aware that it's like tens of thousands of people are watching you?
Nah, it just feels like you're performing to nobody. I'd feel more scared performing to like 5 people than
Because you can feel like
500,000,
like the
yeah.
judgment type of thing. Like
yeah.
there's
You
and
can
it's
see them.
yeah.
You know, like
Whereas-
you can see me. Like,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
can see you.
yeah.
When you're looking at a
80,000 is
stadium,
just an abyss.
yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
never even thought of that.
yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, because at school, like talent shows, I'd shit myself if I had to get up there.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
if you had to get up in front of like 100,000 people,
who are you talking to?
yeah,
Who?
was that the biggest crowd? Origin 80,000.
Nah, I think we did one in Mexico. It was like I think it was close to 100,000.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
Where that at?
it was huge. I was bro, Monterrey. I think it was 100.
Yeah.
I think no, maybe not 100. I think it was less than that. But it was. I think it was more. It was
Yeah.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah, wow,
it was mad.
that's crazy. And so, Justice Crew. At what point, like, did you go solo? What year was it?
It would have been like when we had Que Sera. I think Que Sera.
My mum used to bump that tune. My mum used to bump that tune, man.
We're just going through like your history right now, like, bruh. No, I think like it was kind of after that song, like, because you got to keep in mind like the music that we were making. I wasn't listening to any of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was into Drake and like I was
Yeah.
into like Daft Punk. I was into Justice. I was into, which is a funny story. Like that's the reason why I named
Justice had the cross on the
yeah,
covers.
yeah. That's the reason why I because I was such a fan of him. Like,
yeah,
I was like, oh, we're trying to find new names for the group.
yeah.
Like for the group, we're trying to find names, and I was like, oh, Justice, and they're like, yeah, and then I was like, mad,
Yeah, done.
because I was making mad choreo to all their stuff.
Yeah,
Because I was a huge fan, especially a lot of that electronic music back then.
yeah.
Like
Them and Daft Punk.
Daft Punk.
Yeah,
You know, then Kavinsky later on. You know, Bloody Beetroots, Deadmau5 was in there. Yeah, a lot of those guys were like
Bloody
they're gods to
Beetroots
me.
were massive with
Yeah.
Warp point 1.9 and stuff. Eh?
Bro.
Where they had the whoop whoop
Yeah,
and then,
yeah,
then
yeah,
the
yeah.
beat drops.
Yeah.
That was crazy times.
Fucking who else was in there? Bro, there was Boys Noise. Like a lot of those European electronic
Yeah.
artists were like, yeah.
The first one I
loved
took
it.
attention to was Nicky Toulouse.
Oh yeah.
When I
yeah,
was like
yeah.
old enough, I was like 12.
Yeah.
No, Nicky Romero with Toulouse.
Yeah, Nicky Romero. Yeah,
that was
Nicky
the first
Romero,
time
yeah,
Anonymous Mask got in
Yeah.
front of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Nicky Romero, David Guetta,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
And then I went like into more like Dimitri Vegas like Mike,
yeah.
and then hardstyle.
Nick Romero has a plugin. Like he designs plug. I know a plugin that he has. Yeah, the kick one. Yeah, the Kickstarter. Yeah, that's his. Yeah.
Explain a plug-in to the audience.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So a plugin is it's like a tool you use when you make beats or production.
So it lays a foundation almost
Yeah.
for the beat, or like what does it do?
Oh, it's like virtual instrument.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's like something you'd put on. It's an effect plugin.
It's Kickstarter, so it's just more low end.
Yeah. okay.
Yeah.
Technically 808s, like you can chuck distortion on them and you get like a real like
Yeah.
that Cave Rock song.
Yeah.
It's real distorted. It's like that, and it boosts the low end, brings the distortion up. You still have compression, soft clipping, all that.
I don't know. If you heard what
Expert
Fat
over
just
here,
said,
mate. He's an expert. No, it just adds on to like if you like have it's just an effect on like certain instruments that's
Yeah,
pretty
right.
much it, yeah.
yeah, I understand those.
Yeah.
I know those.
It's similar like that, but I'm not gonna go into detail because
Right.
I suck at. You're pretty good.
Yeah.
You should do.
You should
Have a guy
you should
explaining
produce music.
the terminology of it all. But yeah, no. I was a big fan of, especially the French guys. They're gods to me. Like
Yeah.
Gesaffelstein, I'm a huge fan of. Yeah. So, yeah, where were we?
the Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about Nick Romero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he was part of the French. I think he was from Toulouse.
Yeah. Oh right,
itself.
he's from France.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then, and so you go from the Justice was the inspiration.
Yeah.
Justice Crew.
Yeah.
And then you left Justice Crew.
Oh
what
yeah,
year?
that's right. So I was not listening to the music we were making. So for me, I was like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Because even back then, I was such a huge fan of like Hermitude and Flume.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hermitude's from where I'm from.
yeah, the mountain.
Yeah,
They're from the
yeah.
mountains. Yeah. Shout out Hermitude, man. They're goats. Shout out that whole Elephant Tracks, man. They're all mad people.
Hyper Paradise was massive at my school. Like,
Bro.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I was such a fan of like I was really a fan of like like music, new sounds. I was a very fan of new sounds. What sounds new tones and textures in music, like because I'm not really musical. I'm not actually musical. Even dancing, people say, "Oh, you're a dancer." Like that's like, you can't, that aligns with music. But I was really into dancing for the moves because of how athletic it looked. You know what I mean? Not the music. So I was still listening to Drake and all that. And when Que Sera happened, like I was like, oh man, in my head in the music game, we've clocked the game of music. So
It's run.
Yeah. So I have the right at that point, being at the top. I should be able to work with any musician I want because I have the number one spot. But I didn't realize it doesn't work like that because of politics. Yeah. So there was obviously Triple J and the major label politics back then. Independent. You know what I mean? So I was like, it couldn't really work like that. So I used to tell my A&R like, yo, how do I get in the room with Flume, or how do I get in the room? It would be mad. Like that would be a cool song. Like, I'm thinking about it now. It probably wouldn't have been, but like, but like, in my mind, I mean, you never know.
Did you see him with Ziz the other day? Not
yeah,
Ziz,
bro. His brother. Yeah. Cracker.
Yeah. That was the shit.
That was the shit.
Because Shooting Stars when I was like 10 was just the fucking
bro.
Bag Raiders were just the shit.
Cracker.
Because for people listening, this is around 2014 time. So Flume's Sleepless album was like all those massive songs were out at the time.
Yeah. He won the thing.
Yeah.
I was also into like Taku and like Shlomo. There's a lot of electronic SoundCloud guys back then. 2013 was wild. Like I was really into that music.
Yeah, it was a massive movement too.
It was. It really was. Like, so going back to like where I was like, okay, cool. So since I'm at the top, or we're at the top, we have the right? But it didn't work like that. So at that point, I was like, fuck. I was burning because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work with these guys.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, fuck, I'm going to have to figure this out myself. How do I do this? Yeah. So I kind of like lingered with Justice Crew. I just started to fall back a bit. And then 2015, 2016, I was just like, I had kind of these guys at Dream Big. That was the studio at the time. It was like a whole bunch of us. Uno Stereo, Manny, Ziggy, B-Wise, Ampha, Manu, IE, Matt Black, Will Star.
Crazy lineup now looking at
Blessed. Yeah, we were all in the same building. And I was like, oh, yeah, I met them. And we were kind of friends because Blessed actually helped write Case. He wrote Que Sera.
Yeah, wow.
But he was Miracle before, and he wrote another song about Best Night. So I knew Blessed for a while, and I just moved in and then locked myself in a room for like a year.
Yeah, wow.
Figured out Logic, and I'm Solo's born.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, those boys are the shit. Like Manu and B-Wise are the first to like. Gets lost in translation how big Manu was over in America before Australia.
Oh yeah, he was like touring with he did Rolling Loud, toured with St. John, toured with ASAP Rock, ASAP Ferg. Yeah. They've finally got like their flowers now, B-Wise and stuff. I seen B-Wise is over in Nigeria. Oh yeah.
Just living.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
does he run a studio now?
So he's got.
He runs. He's at Cater, eh?
he's at Cater.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like his his label he's doing. Yeah.
So did Leroy come through your doors?
Oh,
much?
Leroy. Yeah. I remember the first day Leroy came to our studio. Actually,
Yeah.
it was me and Manu at the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Leroy used to live with me.
Yeah. Wow.
He says it on that Pikachu song. IE's, yeah, JD. So me, JD, IE, and Travis, Travi P. We all lived in the same house, and Leroy used to live there. Yeah. So he shout out. He says, JD's couch. He mentioned it on JD's couch. Anyway, Leroy. I remember Leroy walking into that studio the first day. It was me and Manu actually who were just at the studio.
Yeah.
And Ziggy comes up the stairs because you have to go up the stairs. And this little kid walks in. He's like 13 at this time, I think. Yeah, I think he would have been 13. He walks up and he's like, Ziggy walks up, and I think it was like his stepdad or something. He walked up with him.
Yeah.
And Leroy was like, Manu, you're
freaking
I love
out.
your music. Like, he's tripping out, you know what I mean? But yeah, Leroy is, bro.
Different gravy, eh?
Right, he's a different breed. Like, a kid who just knows. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of alcohol. There's a few of other substances going around, but the kid just could focus. Like,
Yeah.
he would just, I don't know,
Something intangible.
The work ethic is unmatched. I don't know anyone
like him.
Yeah, I mean, Ampha can write a lot. Ampha Rose, he can write a lot of songs. Like, I think. But the thing is you got to understand. Like, Leroy had seen it. He's seen all these people around him, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
He just knew.
Got to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Infro. It's big in Morocco. Him and French Montana is obviously massive over there.
Yeah.
And then have you seen that new guy's Benz? He did that Je m'appelle song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a Moroccan kid. He had the Morocco flag everywhere.
Yeah.
But when that Benz thing came out, I was like, oh, this is Central C Loading Part 2.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at him, and then I was looking at like Moroccan rap artists, and Ampha Rose is like, like in Morocco they adore him.
Yeah, he was like, bro, I forgot to mention that building too, Dopamine, bro. Dopamine is another guy, like, yeah. That's the other thing. When I walked into that building, like, I would just look at like Will Star, Dopamine, and Blessed, and just be like, oh shit, like, okay, like, this is how they gave me like the keys. I say it all the time, man. Those guys really gave me the keys. Khaled as well. Khaled was in there every now and then. He would roll in. He has
some big tunes now, eh?
Khaled, yeah, he's working really close with him, and Dopamine work really close with Leroy now.
Yeah,
but those guys really showed me the ropes of like, especially how to make beats and make songs. You know what I mean? Yeah. I remember even like, this is crazy because I feel like the producers really took it into their own hands for like music, and like I remember Dopamine doing the 808 slides like the first time. Like, this is 2016.
Wow.
And you're hearing like woo woo woo, woo, like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, So like, it's crazy. Like, back then we were really scientists.
Yeah.
Like, we were really scientists. Like, I don't know if you heard much about that place, but we were in our own.
Yeah, I want to interview Bearwise.
Yeah,
I reached out, but I'll reach out again.
Yeah.
I'd love to interview Bearwise.
Yeah, I'll shout out to him, bro. Yeah.
Because I just love to like sit them down and just be like, fuck, what, like, start to finish,
bro.
Give everyone everything,
bro. And it's great. Like, I've known Wise for a long time too, because we took him on that Chris Brown tour. He came with us. Yeah, him and K1. K1 came with us that time.
Fucking hell.
So that's how long I've known Wise. Yeah.
What was he doing back then? Was he making music?
Who, Wise?
Yeah.
Who, Wise? Yeah. They were making music. Yeah.
Was B-Wise big back then? Because I didn't know about him until I was like 17, 18.
Yeah, they were like doing their thing. They were big in the community, but like, again, like, back then, this is like 2011.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a different
scope.
time, and
Yeah,
and people were in the kind of scene wasn't, or like the, where hip hop is now was definitely not.
no, it was nowhere near.
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah. People didn't really see
Yeah,
anything in it. You know,
Cursor
what I mean?
360 was like the pinnacle.
Yeah,
That rap battle was legit. Like internationally, that's what
Yeah.
we were recognised for.
Yeah.
And now it's like Manu Crook's song, Leroy,
Yeah,
Onefour. It's crazy how
Bruh,
far we've come.
the whole kind of thing changed, but K1, yeah, they were OGs, man. They
What was
were
it like
OGs.
going from Justice Crew into like a genuine hip hop setting?
It was weird. Oh, it was alright. I think it felt. Again, I always feel like I have imposter syndrome because I'm like, fuck, am I doing it right? Like,
Yeah.
but it's funny because Hal, shout out to Hal. He was the
Shout
one who
out
told
Howie.
me, like, you're gonna have to walk into Sony again, but on the other end of the of the spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So meaning, like, I came from this pop realm, and then I went to the other side and came through, with hip hop.
More authentic on the other side, eh? The hip hop.
Yeah.
The pop
yeah.
is very
yeah.
about the money
Yeah, and
for the most part, not all of it.
Yeah, people were really trying to control it. So
Yeah, people behind the scenes control like the artists a bit around there, eh?
yeah,
You still look at like fucking Scooter Braun still has Taylor Swift's.
Yeah.
Or maybe she got him back maybe in the last year, but until
Yeah.
then, he still owned everything she had.
Mm.
Yeah, like all that shit's just so fucked up.
But yeah, bro, those were the Onefour boys. We used to do sessions at Sony. It was
Yeah.
crazy,
And
crazy
then,
songs.
so you make your own songs as well. It's only right we're talking about it. So 49, I listened to, once you'd said you'd hop on the pod, I just went back, listened through, because you're on the playlist for like Spotify.
Oh yeah.
So I listened to them, but like not consciously, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when
yeah,
I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
And then I was like, going to consciously listen to them. 40 Nights, Cold,
Yeah.
My Own, and Catch were my favourites.
Oh yeah.
They're my favourites. To describe your style, I would put it as just a consumer, just like dance / R&B.
Yeah,
Would that be
yeah,
a best way to describe it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dance.
How'd that style come about? Because it kind of reminds me of Late Nights by Camouflage Rose. That's
Oh yeah.
that's the kind of
Yeah.
same style.
Like the 4 to the floor beat. Yeah. I feel. Yeah. I think I just take what I'm inspired by. Really.
Yeah.
Like I really, like I was saying before, I really love Daft Punk. I really love like Gesaffelstein and Justice and Kavinsky. Like, but I also love like, Majid Jordan, Bryson Tiller.
Majid Jordan's a left-hand shout.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're like.
What Drake song was it?
Hold on, we're going home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Party Next Door?
Party Next Door. Yeah. Like, cause again, my mom, like, she was very into R&B.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really been like a rapper. I feel like rapping, it's too hard for me. I feel like I'm a bit
It's not
soft.
as natural?
Yeah. But I like melodies and I like
Yeah.
singing. But yeah, Majid actually. Yeah, we went on tour with them actually when they came here. Yeah, with IE, me and IE. Yeah.
What, with Majid Jordan and
Yeah.
like who was the rest of the crew there?
It
Wait,
was
is Majid signed to OVO?
OVO. Yeah.
So like Party Next Door and stuff would have been on that?
Nah, it was just them. They just came as a solo
Yeah,
tour.
right.
Yeah. That would have been 2019 or 2018. Yeah.
Oh wow, so that wasn't long ago.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it was wild. Like, yeah, they're again goes
Yeah.
to me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I fuck with their music. It's just timeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Party Next Door is one of my favourites of all time.
Right.
West District by Party Next Door.
Bro.
And then Nipsey sampled it and put it on. Oh, I can't remember now.
Oh, he sampled it.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't heard that, but
It's
I
on the
gotta hear
Victory
that.
Lap album.
Yeah.
It's a cracker song.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. But yeah, Party Next Door, all that crew.
Yeah.
They're big inspirations to you as well?
Yeah, like OVO, like
Yeah.
OVO, yeah. I think because
Roy Wood's kind of got a similar sound to you sometimes.
yeah,
as well.
I rate Roy. Yeah, I think like because Canada, I don't know, and I've been there too. Like I feel like Australia is very similar. Like we intake the world like
Yeah.
Canada does, or like London
Yeah.
does. So we have like not the balls, but we're more open to being like, oh, we'll try something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we can really get to a real feel. Not saying America doesn't, but like I don't know. I just feel like we just breathe different air.
Yeah.
You know, Canada and Australia, you know, and London. There's a similarity there that I don't know how to explain it, but there's a similarity. Yeah.
I went through it with Howie once, and I always thought it was the same. Immigration of our older generations was around the same times.
It's probably yeah.
And then we are a hot pot where, like, America, like, as you said before, states are like different countries to them. But over here, like in Sydney, you can find almost any fucking nationality in the world. That's moved here. Yeah. And I think that comes out in our hip hop. Even the crew that you're with, I admire them because you know exactly like the countries that's their heritage. You know what I mean? In America, you can't tell unless they're like unless you figure it out after a while. Yeah. But I think Canada's the same as well. You can feel like their inspirations.
The Caribbean influence,
the Caribbean,
Nigerian or like Ethiopian, Somali influence,
in the UK, especially London, like the Ghanaian, Nigerian, they're the big ones for the big artists like Skepta, Stormzy. No, Stormzy's Ghanaian, but like Skepta, Dave, all Nigerian. And it just comes out in the music. And same comes out with us, and I think that's why kind of Onefour blew up is because the Pacific Islander they hadn't really seen yet on like. That level of popularity. Besides Booyah Tribe, I think was one big one that went to America. So
it's at that level,
Yeah, and then like, Scribe and
Scribe,
Savage.
Scribe made it across the ditch to here. Yeah, because I think how we might have said this too. Like the last biggest hip hop song was Not Many, if any.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. How crazy is that? Yeah. Like that was like the last real biggest song. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe there are other ones.
Savage
but like,
got big off doing EDM features.
Yeah, he did that. Joel Fletcher one. Swing, yeah.
That was massive on iTunes back in the day. That was like the shit. But everyone had that going to parties.
Right. Yeah. But like, I think with Onefour, it was something fresh, something new, and something everybody understood. Yeah. And that, I think, is another thing that translates to somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think also for the Australian listener, when the boys are so proud of Mountie, but like everyone knows about Mount Druitt. You could be from. I know people from like Melbourne that went on Kentucky with overseas, and they mentioned Mount Druitt to me. Like, people just know that's like, that's the place where like that all that music comes from, and then they're all so proud of it. And then when they make their music, it's like like this is actually this is actually a reality. And it came out and all that. You touched on it before when we had our technical errors. How you got in contact with Onefour was through Selly's. What was it called again?
Want the Money.
Yeah. And then you got in contact with Hollaback, was it?
No. So I heard Want the Money. I just remember hearing it and I was like what is this? Yeah. Like I kind of recognize it, like because obviously Sally he's Islander, you know, he's Polynesian. So I was like, whoa, this is mad. Like something I haven't seen for ages. Like I said, like Scribe would have been the last kind of thing I really from a Polynesian background, you know what I mean? But hearing it and I heard the beat and I was like, bro, I couldn't pick the genre that it was. Yeah. And when that happens, usually I'm like, whoa, this must be like pretty tough. Like that's usually the the equation, like the answer to that when I have in my head when I hear something that I can't recognize. But I heard that, and then I remember Howie, he messaged me by coincidence, and he was like, "Bro, I'm working with these guys. It'd be good to help, get you in." And then I was like, "Oh," because when I heard Want the Money, I looked up Hollaback. I heard I seen Hollaback was the producer, and I looked him up, and I seen he was Tongan. Obviously, like I'm half Tongan. And when Howie messaged me, I told him, bro, if the producer needs any help, like let me know. I'm keen to help. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace.
You know what I mean? But and then one time, we the first time I walked in with them, I recorded Shanks and I recorded the ad libs to Shanks and Shivs. Yeah, well, yeah. So they were finishing Shanks and Shivs, and I recorded the ad lib. Yeah. And then after that. So I still hadn't met Manu at this time. Yeah. Hollaback. I hadn't met Hollaback at this time. And then the next one, it's crazy. The message, this is crazy. So I remember the second, I think it was the second session. It could have been the same session. I can't remember. But Hal pulled up a few beats, and that beat was one of them.
Yeah.
And so we played it, and I'm like, oh, yo, this is... I hadn't really heard drill like this.
Yeah.
I didn't know what drill really was. I heard it because one of my boys, Scrap...
UK was popping.
Yeah. My mate Scrap, he kind of showed me like gigs and stuff like that before. Shout out Scrap. Free my mans. He's out soon. But
Gigs hopped on 6-7's Let's Lurk.
Yeah, so
which was huge at the fucking time.
So I can't remember what song I'd heard, but I'd heard something of Gigs, and I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like something that I've kind of heard before. Anyway, pull up the beat. I got the file, Gotcha sent the beats, and I'm like going through them, and then the message, and then the boys were like, "Yo, this one, I'm playing the beat."
Yeah.
So you know the beat, like the pianos or whatever,
Yeah.
and then you hear Rome, JM. He's like, "Yo, I got something," and then Hal goes, "Oh yeah, let me hear it." He's like, "JM, I'm a Onefour veteran. Bust up my hookers, I back my," and I'm sitting there like just listening to it, and I'm like, bro, this sounds, I don't know what this is, but fuck, it sounds hard. And he's just going. And I'm like, all right. And then Hal's like, yeah, record it.
Yeah.
Record it. Then after that, I think Lex, who jumps on after Spenny? Jumps on, then P, and then, and then Lex. Was Lex last? Lex was last. Yeah, I can't remember, I haven't heard the song for a minute, but crazy. Yeah, what a moment! Like
crazy fucking time, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hope How's got some crazy footage too, like of those moments. Like, crazy. It's some of the craziest moments. Even like Spot the Difference when Lome does his.
Spot the Difference was big because Vice got a hold of that and did the doco. Yeah. That's what was fucking massive. Is Vice put that in front of eyes that didn't know about it. Yeah. And then like once people realized these guys are like fucking international.
Yeah. Like, and I'm still like figuring out like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. I understand, and I think that was like the first time in ages I had, cause like I said, I come from breaking, like I come from b-boying, so I'm like they say we're like scholars of hip hop, like we know hip hop, like the bass culture of hip hop, so. The last like hip hop thing I would have listened to that I was like, I fuck with it is like NERD or like, Outkast, or like before that it would have been, Tribe Called Quest and Jungle Brothers, but I wasn't like really into gangster rap like that, or I shouldn't say gang rap, but street rap. Like, I didn't really click with it. Because I'm not about that. I'm not in that life, but hearing these guys, I was like, man, why can I understand it and I can feel it? You know what I mean? That's the difference. There's a difference is like when there's something that you recognize, you're like, you can feel it. Like, and I think that was the difference. That's why I could never. It's crazy because a lot of my friends love 50, I
was about to say the thing about 50 Cent's Many Men is you feel like you're there. Like, it captures you, that actual song.
Yeah.
Like I've never really been in a pub fight, but I can like imagine being there when he gets shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's the thing. That's the thing with me is like I would never know because I've never been shot at. Like, it's nothing I can't. But like when I heard the boys, I'm like, oh, I understand because I've seen my cousins do say certain things and so I was like, oh, I get it. Like, and the way that you're speaking. I can understand it. Yeah. It's that really, Polynesian or like that West talk, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, I can understand. Yeah. And I think that was, from me, from there, I was like, oh, I can understand certain things. Like, and it just resonated with me. So
I think anyone in the West that wasn't in too much of a sheltered household, even if like I have nothing to do with anything like that, but I could still like I grew up around boys who played like because I played AFL down at Blacktown. So there was boys and like they grew up around there and all that type of stuff. Even up in the mountains, some of the boys that came up and played in football. But like anyone that didn't grow up in a sheltered household like knew this was like an actual reality. And it wasn't like all bullshit. And then Yeah, and then the added factor was it was so cool to hear like the highest quality of rap coming out of like 30 minutes away.
That's the thing. It's like you know, you're like, whoa. If I don't know a person that's like, you know, someone very close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, 1 or 2 degrees separation.
Very close. Yeah. So I think that was, for me to hear that. I really started listening to like street rap again.
Yeah.
And I was like not really for it, but I was
Yeah.
just like, okay, let me suss this out and see where it's at. Because like I said, I like, if anything, I was listening to Drake or like Daft Punk or like Bryson Tiller. They were talking about complicated relationships because that's what I was going through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in terms of like, you know, up, down.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, you know. So it was kind of it was interesting, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, the message turned into a fucking anthem, eh?
Crazy.
As soon as JM's verse comes on
Right.
at any venue.
And I was there too, like I said before, like with Lex, like watching him upload it and it clicking over in real time, like the clicks, like you're just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
that guy, bro.
that was
Lex, bro.
It was what, like
crazy.
March 2019? Or,
Yeah.
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 See, it's crazy. I can even fathom the date.
Yeah.
It's such a
memorable time.
Yeah.
So I come across him like late 2018. So Sally had just gone.
Yeah.
And then I started to work with them.
Question. Don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
The Selly intro.
Yeah.
Was that pre-recorded or was that done through a gel phone and you mastered the audio?
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know who got a hold of that audio. I think it sounds it is man, what is it? Yeah, I think it's a phone call. Like I didn't. It's dual phone. It's dual phone. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I could tell the quality.
That's so
the quality.
I could like.
Unless someone else can tell otherwise, like let me know, because I don't know who sent through that vocal.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't up to standard to what the other vocals were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it still came out crazy quality.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to like. Yeah. It could have been something like that, because there were a couple of times where we did record Sally off the phone, straight off the phone. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it did sound at similar quality, so I had to like finesse it in a way where it like sounded like it was, you know, proper vocal. Yeah.
It's crazy thing about Sally is you learn as you get older about the actual, obviously Tupac and Biggie, but like there was guys before them or who inspired them that were like their best mates, and you learn about their names or whatever, and then even Tupac, that guy he used to hang around called Biggie Smalls, there was a white guy.
Oh yeah,
he looked up to. But that's why he never said fuck Biggie Smalls.
Oh,
because he only acknowledged this white guy.
Who
ended up dying as Biggie Smalls.
Wow.
But like those guys.
Wait, I think I've heard about that guy. Yeah.
But there's heaps of guys in like the American 90s before that came around, and they were the pioneers. And then the guys took it to the next level. And it's crazy to think that Sally is our pioneer, and then his best mates took it
to the next level.
Well, unfortunately,
all
these things happen. But I remember when he back in the day when he was on YouTube making beats, and like some of the songs that came out, I won't mention them because it's not worth mentioning, but like some of the you know what I'm talking about, some of the old diss. I'll blur that out.
I've heard it.
Yeah, some of those NOS diss.
Yeah,
because Fez, that's when I first came across Fez, because he was dissing Melbourne.
Oh I remember that phase too. I was at the when he called out Manu, Mira, and someone else, and we were like, what?
Yeah.
Bro, he's a dancer too.
Yeah.
Bro. Shout out Melbourne, bro.
But the crazy time back then, like when they're on YouTube, and it was the West Coast beats. Like it sounded like YG beats for the new age listener. And then I got to try and get my point across.
Land it.
Yeah. But you're like independent now, hey?
Yeah.
Because on Spotify it came up as I Am Solo.
Oh yeah.
Records maybe.
Yeah.
How was it like going from obviously Injustice Crew under Sony Music?
Yeah.
What's it like being independent now?
It's cool. Like it's is it harder? I was gonna man, that's actually a funny question, because like, I mean, what's harder?
Yeah.
You know, being under control or having more control? You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's actually, they have their pros and cons both, but I feel like it just depends on the reasons you're doing it, man.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it to be famous, okay,
Go to a label.
go to a label. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I mean. But if you just genuinely just want to express yourself, like just do it yourself. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And yeah, that's my biggest thing is like, it's that creative integrity, man.
Yeah.
Like you gotta, if you just love it, if it's your escape, because that's what for me every creative outlet has been, is just an escape from my reality. You know? What I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I'm stressing, when I was a kid, when I was stressing over what was going on at home, I would just go and practice dancing. If I'm stressing over a relationship or stressing over like just regular shit, I do music now. You know what I mean? So yeah, it just depends. Like, but I think if you're gonna sign to a label, you just gotta know what you're in for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Break it down for people. Being independent means you're doing everything yourself, hey?
Yeah.
Like you're organising your video
Yeah.
shoots, you're making the music yourself, you're
Yeah.
sorting producers yourself, all that stuff. If you go through a label, they basically are just the middleman. They cut out all your bullshit, really.
Yeah. They just do it all for you.
All you really need to do is turn up.
That's it. Yeah, literally.
And it's crazy to listen to industry plants when they do interviews on like their come up, and you just go like, fuck, like, and then you listen to someone like Russ, who's
bro,
the craziest work ethic in the world, like a song a week for 5 years plus albums.
I remember that too.
It's
on SoundCloud.
fucked. Yeah, I remember What They Want.
Yeah,
that was massive, and there was a few others as well. But he was part of that Swaggy Beats era.
Yeah.
Do you remember all that, like Logic, G-Eazy, and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
But yeah, like listening
that was
to
kind of a cool era.
label plants.
Jeezy was hard.
Jeezy.
Yeah.
Fried Rice by Jeezy. That was a shit.
I liked Tumblr Girl.
That was a big song for the girls. I remember all the girls at school loved that song.
Yeah.
Who else was part of that
Tumblr
group?
Girls, I think it was called.
Do you remember Logic back then?
Logic, I remember his mixtapes on Dat Piff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I rated him actually.
Yeah.
It reminded me of J. Cole, but
yeah,
I still was like, it's dope. It's like Childish Gambino as well.
Yeah.
Who also is one of my other favorite artists as well. Childish, man.
Yeah, he's the shit.
He's like everything.
Yeah. He's fully.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah,
well, what's the
and screenwriter
Power?
too.
Yeah, it's Power.
No,
isn't it?
Atlanta.
That's it. Yeah.
He's like that. That's just a like someone who is just like creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a different
shows in
breed
his music
of artist. Of artistry. Like you can be just a rapper, you can be just a producer, or you can be creative, just a all around. Fuck, I just. Yeah, he's dope. He's crazy.
Would you do acting? You're a jack of all trades across the music.
I mean, I don't know if you see my video. I try to act. It's pretty funny. Like.
Yeah.
Full wound today. I need to get my skin. Yeah. It was so out. It's so weird for me, but I try. I think that's what you have to do. You have to push yourself to new places.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Like you have to put yourself there. Otherwise, you'll just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah.
All right. Advice for those heading into music. What would be like your biggest piece of advice? Because you've been on both ends. You've been on the Sony Music's fucking putting you in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And then you've been on the other end of doing everything yourself. What's one piece of advice that covers both?
My biggest advice is just keep doing it. Like whatever it is, just keep going and like stay curious. Like because it's all about like how much you know. Like your knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing is like just keep doing it. Because you just never know where you're going to go. Like, like look what happened. Like, fuck, I don't.
Yeah.
How the heck did I go from a pop act to a fucking the gang producer? How? How did that?
Yeah.
I went from okay, gangs are here to the gangs.
You'll
really
have a
here.
cool book. When you're in 20 years, bro, you'll have a fucking sick book.
What would you title it?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I had a few in mind, but yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. I was gonna say like from Nova to Raptor Squad.
Man, those guys were really like, we're gonna turn up to your house at 6 a.m. in the morning. You don't want them, do you, Mr. Tohi? I'm like,
yeah, fuck, bro. I'd be scared shitless.
bro,
Fuck that.
they're scary, bro.
They're like lawless, but
Yeah, bro, it's different.
skip over all that bullshit. Advice group for like just generally creatives, because a lot of people watch this, they do their own thing, whether it be like legit just painting or like making music.
Yeah.
What's your biggest advice for them?
Again, stay with it and stay curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really it. Curiosity is the biggest thing. Like, I feel like that's really the inspiration of like evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I'd
if you
agree.
don't stay curious to something like, oh, how do I do this?
Yeah.
Like, even just saying that, how do you, like, I wonder if I could, like, be a filmmaker. The fact that I thought about it,
Yeah.
I've already seen. That's the first step to like seeing yourself there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, stay with it and stay curious is like probably the biggest thing. You have to stay. Again, the other thing too is like people don't. And we got to think outside of like hip hop, the hip hop culture. The hip hop culture is really about what's new and what's fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like. You really got to stay, which usually ends up in a 7-year lifespan. But if you just stay with it, it's about the longevity of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Stay true to yourself.
Yeah, that's
How he vouches for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like no matter what happens, it'll stick.
Yeah,
Like if you just true to yourself.
Yeah. And another thing I didn't say is like everyone's time comes. We just don't know when.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Like, if
It's
you
like
stay
Ty
with
Dolla
it-
Sign and 2 Chainz are most probably the best to point at.
bro.
Especially 2 Chainz. Like 30 wasn't even rapping. And by 40 he's like, yeah. Wait, no, Ty Dolla Sign maybe wasn't rapping. I think 2 Chainz was rapping, then fell into drugs and then fell out of it.
I full remember 2 Chainz like ages ago, but he just
His Rap Will Go to the League album's actually really good. It's one of like the most underrated albums I've ever listened to.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's 2 Chainz album. People that just know him from features kind of like buy
Yeah,
it
yeah,
off.
yeah. He was like the feature guy for
Yeah.
a minute. Yeah.
And Ty Dolla Sign's the same. I think he's in like his mid-40s.
Yeah.
And he came to fruition like
Right.
6, 7, 8 years ago.
The bloke, and the bloke was writing for so many people, but he just stayed like this for ages.
Yeah.
you know
There's a
what I mean?
few other songwriters in America that come to mind.
Bro, Vori, I fuck with Vori heavy, bro. Yeah,
Meek Mill
Vori.
did something with him, eh?
Yeah.
And
he
Meek
wrote,
had a dig at Drake for being ghostwriter, no?
yeah.
And Meek had a writer.
Yeah, well, no.
Oh, right.
Vori, he is low-key. He wrote one of Tilla's songs when he was like 16. I can't remember.
Brent
what
Fayez was a fucking writer as well.
bro.
Crazy.
Yeah. Nah, it was yeah. I forgot the other one. But bro, yeah, he was like 16 when he wrote that. But like, yeah, man. There's some of these guys who have just been doing it for time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time will come.
bro, and they just been doing it for ages, and then their time just happens. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It just pops off. I was
Yeah.
going to say, back to your advice before, staying curious. I've learnt that doing this. Like, I never would have pictured within 30, I think you're the 32nd or 33rd episode.
Yeah.
Just like the people you like meet along the way.
Bro.
Like, it started with a mate, Nick Air,
Yeah.
and then Bomber, and then just like everyone in the hip hop that I've met so far, people in sport that know about the podcast now,
Yeah.
people who are just generally just entertainers and stuff like that. Like John
Yeah.
Bernard was on it.
Yeah. Nah, bro. And the other thing is you don't know where something's gonna lead to.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know. Like you said. Like, oh, I'd love to, interview Wise, and like I know Wise. Like, you know what I mean. Same thing. You just don't know where it's gonna lead. Likewise, I didn't know I was gonna go from dancer to fucking drill producer.
Yeah. You
Fuck,
just keep
what
at
is
it.
that? Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, just stay curious, man, and stay with it because your time will come.
Yeah.
You just don't know when.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Now, we got to wrap up because we're on time schedule.
On time.
But where can the people find all of this? Plug yourself.
You can find me everywhere on socials.
I.amsolo.
I.amsolo. Yeah, on Instagram or TikTok, or even Spotify and YouTube. On Twitter, just find me at Solo the Robot. Yeah. Twitch, Solo the Robot. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I don't do Twitch, but fuck it.
Yeah. Should do Twitch, bro. Why are you producing?
I gotta figure that out. I haven't really figured it. I'll probably do it at some point. I know sometimes I'm like, fuck, you know. I don't know. I feel a bit weird sometimes, but
Like being in front of camera.
yeah, sometimes. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah.
That can be like a form of imposter. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking to you right now.
Yeah.
is
You're
like-
good though.
Nah, hardly. But like, you gotta.
You're made for it, bro. You're made
my
for it.
mum always tells me look into the fucking camera, but I'm like, Mum, I can't look into the camera because then I think I'm looking at my TV screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm looking through to people on the other side.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
How are we going? Yeah.
Subscribe.
Welcome back. Subscribe right here.
But yeah, I get that as well. Like the imposter thing a bit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
even
yeah.
sitting here talking to like yourself, Howie.
Yeah.
Like if you were to, like I said before, I told my sister, I was like, oh, I'm going to interview someone from Justice Crew today. She's like, what the fuck? Like, that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't know you were doing all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and even Howie sitting next to him.
Yeah.
And I watched the arias when Howie accepted his award in 2004, and it's presented by the fucking Black Eyed Peas and stuff.
Oh yeah. That was
You know what I mean?
2004, I think. Yeah.
Like
For
just
coolism.
sitting next to someone like that who
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like,
It's crazy.
yeah, the Godfather essentially.
Bro.
It's a funny.
Yeah. He is. He's done a lot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick shout out before we head off. Chris sent me this. I asked for dead stock and he sent me it for free. So this is my first sponsorship, basically.
Let's go.
Shout out FTA. I'm not from the area. I'm from the mountains, but I'll fucking wear it every day. I'll keep wearing it. So shout out Chris. Shout out Aussie, especially for all the parades they've been doing. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've seen it on online.
Aussie and Chris, they're cousins. They do
right.
like FTA and tracks.
Yeah.
Bro, they've been putting on like just fuck.
Going
It started
hard.
with one small one because I was with Aussie because he does my basketball jerseys
Yeah.
for me. And he was like, oh, come down to Wayland. I was like, I can't have my brother's birthday on.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was fucking popped off. And then I think they're on their fourth coming up.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. And it packs out like I've never seen
Bro.
it before.
I was literally just telling one of the boys downstairs, like, bro, fucking New Zealand going off. New Zealand.
Were you over there?
Yeah, actually I went over for YG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was DJing for HP. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Because we've been producing all their new stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do a lot
that's
of
the
those
shit.
ones. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. It's
Alright.
alright.
We'll wrap it up here. Thanks for hopping on, brother. Honestly, appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Pleasure was mine.
Legend.
And we'll see you next week.